Hello, my dear listener, and welcome to English Lane, a place where learning English becomes more than just practice. It becomes a journey of growth, peace, and inspiration. Life is a journey, sometimes bright and easy, sometimes heavy and unclear. Every one of us faces moments when everything feels too hard, when the path ahead seems uncertain, and when hope begins to fade. But it's in those moments when the world goes silent that we begin to hear the quiet voice inside, the voice that says, "Keep going." This video is more than just English listening practice. It's a story about strength, about courage, and about how to stay calm when life gets painful. As you listen, you will not only improve your English, but also rediscover your own strength, your faith, and your purpose. So find a quiet place, sit back, breathe deeply, and let these words sink into your heart. Let them remind you that no matter what you're facing, you are stronger than you think. Now, let's begin our journey. Part 1. Understanding life's struggles. Today, you begin a journey, not just to learn English, but to understand life, to understand yourself, and to discover strength hidden deep inside your pain. Life is not always gentle. It can be heavy, unpredictable, and full of storms. But remember this: even the strongest storms come to an end, and every dark night is followed by a sunrise. So take a deep breath. You are not alone. You are exactly where you need to be. Life gets hard for everyone. It doesn't matter who you are, rich or poor, young or old, no one escapes pain. But pain is not your enemy. It is your teacher. When you go through difficult times, life is not trying to destroy you, it is shaping you. Just like a diamond is formed under pressure, you too are being refined by your challenges. Without pressure, coal remains coal. With pressure, it becomes a diamond. So when life feels unbearable, remind yourself: this is your shaping season. You are not being broken. You are being built. Every challenge you face carries a hidden lesson. When you lose something, you learn gratitude. When you fail, you learn humility. When you are rejected, you learn self-worth. You may not see it now, but every pain has a purpose. Every tear carries meaning. Every heartbreak teaches your heart how to love again, wiser than before. You are not the same person you were before the storm, and that is a blessing. Many people believe being strong means never showing emotion. But true strength is not about hiding your feelings. It is about feeling deeply and still choosing to move forward. When you feel sad, don't pretend to be okay. Allow yourself to cry, to feel, to breathe through the pain. Emotions are like waves. They rise and fall. You cannot stop them, but you can learn to surf. The key is not to fight your feelings, but to understand them. There will be moments when you will ask, "Why me? Why this pain?" But maybe the right question is, what is this pain trying to teach me? Because life doesn't happen to you. It happens for you. Sometimes God delays answers to prepare your heart for something greater. Sometimes He removes things from your life because they were never meant to stay. You must learn to trust that everything happens for a reason, even when you don't understand the reason yet. One of the hardest lessons in life is to accept what you cannot control. You cannot control the weather. You cannot control other people's behavior. You cannot control the past. But you can always control your response. That's where your true strength lives, in how you respond to what happens to you. Every time you stay calm in chaos, every time you choose peace over panic, every time you forgive instead of fight, you grow. Let me tell you a story. Once, a farmer planted a bamboo tree. He watered it every day, waited patiently, and hoped for growth. But after 1 year, nothing happened. 2 years, still nothing. 3 years, no sign of life. People laughed at him. They said, "You're wasting your time." But the farmer didn't stop. He kept watering the ground with faith. And in the 5th year, the bamboo suddenly grew 80 feet tall in just 6 weeks. Now, did it really grow in 6 weeks? Number. It was growing underground the entire time, building strong roots to support its height. That's how your growth works too. When nothing seems to be happening, remember, you are growing beneath the surface. So when life feels slow, when progress feels invisible, when nothing seems to change, don't give up. Keep watering your dreams. Keep believing in your journey. Growth takes time. Strength takes time. Healing takes time. And the fact that you're still here, still breathing, still trying, that means you're winning, even if you can't see it yet. Sometimes the most painful moments are the ones that prepare you for your greatest transformation. The caterpillar must go through darkness before becoming a butterfly. The seed must break before it grows into a tree. You too must go through your breaking to discover your becoming. Pain is not the end. It is the beginning of something new. Now close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Think of the hardest thing you're facing right now. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" whisper softly, "What could this be teaching me?" Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's teaching you gratitude. Maybe it's preparing you for something beautiful. Whatever it is, accept it as a lesson, not as a punishment. And now, repeat these affirmations slowly, from your heart. I am stronger than my struggles. Every challenge helps me grow. I am learning through my pain. I choose peace over worry. I trust the timing of my life. I will rise again, no matter how many times I fall. Life is not meant to be perfect. It's meant to be meaningful. Every storm you survive makes you wiser. Every scar tells a story of strength. Every failure becomes a lesson that guides you forward. Don't be ashamed of your scars. They prove that you fought, that you survived, that you healed. So, dear listener, remember this. The same fire that melts wax hardens clay. The same pressure that breaks some people builds others. What matters is not what happens to you, but how you choose to respond. You can either let pain define you, or you can let it refine you. You have that power. Take another deep breath. Feel the strength within you. Quiet, calm, steady. You've already survived every bad day of your life so far. That means you can survive whatever comes next. You are stronger than you think. You are wiser than you know. And you are braver than you believe. This was part 1 of your journey. Understanding life's struggles. In the next part, we will go deeper into the power of your thoughts, how your mindset can turn pain into power, and how changing your thinking can change your entire life. For now, rest your mind. Breathe. You are doing beautifully. The storm will pass, and when it does, you'll realize you were never just surviving. You were becoming stronger all along. Part 2. The power of the mind. Your mind is your greatest weapon and your greatest weakness. Everything you experience, every emotion you feel, every decision you make begins inside your mind. If you control your thoughts, you control your life. But if your thoughts control you, life becomes chaos. The truth is, most people live as prisoners of their own thoughts. They wake up thinking about their problems, they spend the day worrying about the future, and they go to sleep replaying their past mistakes. They are trapped in an invisible cage, a cage made of fear, doubt, and overthinking. But here's the truth. You built that cage yourself, and that means you have the power to unlock it. Your thoughts create your reality. If you constantly think, "I can't," your mind will find reasons why you can't. But if you say, "I will," your mind starts searching for possibilities. The mind is like a garden. What you plant grows. If you plant negative thoughts, you'll grow weeds of worry. But if you plant positive ones, you'll grow flowers of confidence. Every morning, you have two choices: to live the same story again, or to write a new one. And that new story begins with a single thought, a decision to think differently, because your outer world is only a reflection of your inner world. Change your thoughts, and your world changes with them. Let me tell you something powerful. When you speak negatively about yourself, when you say, "I'm not good enough," "I always fail," "I'll never make it," your brain believes you. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between truth and lies. It only knows repetition. If you repeat a thought long enough, your brain starts to build your identity around it. So stop telling yourself stories that hurt you. Stop calling yourself names that break you. You are not your failures. You are not your past. You are not your pain. You are the thinker behind the thought, the observer behind the storm. And once you realize that, the storm starts to calm. Your thoughts are powerful energy. What you focus on expands. If you focus on problems, you'll attract more problems. If you focus on blessings, you'll attract more peace. The key is not to fight your negative thoughts, but to replace them. Don't say, "I'm not anxious." Instead, say, "I am calm and centered." Don't say, "I'm not sad." Say, "I'm healing and growing." The brain listens carefully to the words you choose. Remember this. Your mind believes what you tell it most often. So feed it hope, feed it courage, feed it peace. There's a famous saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. It's not magic. It's mindset. Let's imagine two people. One says, "I'll never be good at English." The other says, "I'm getting better every day." They both study for a month. One gives up halfway, the other keeps going. Same lessons, same time, different results. Why? Because one believed in his limitation and the other believed in his growth. That's the power of belief. Every great achiever, every successful person, every leader started with a thought, a tiny whisper that said, "Maybe I can." And they protected that thought like fire in the rain. Because they knew, if they could hold on to that belief long enough, it would become reality. Your mind is not your enemy. It's your tool. But like any tool, you must learn to use it. Train it every day. When it tells you negative stories, don't argue. Observe. Then gently guide it back to peace. Meditation, prayer, journaling, gratitude, these are not just habits. They are mental workouts. They strengthen your mind's ability to focus, to stay calm, and to create peace in chaos. There's a quote that says, "The same boiling water that softens a potato hardens an egg. The difference is not the water, it's what they're made of. Life's challenges are the same way. It's not about what happens to you, it's about what you think about what happens to you. If your mind is filled with fear, challenges will break you. If your mind is filled with faith, those same challenges will make you. The situation is the same. Only your mindset changes the outcome. So whenever you feel overwhelmed, pause for a moment. Take a deep breath and say to yourself, I am in control of my thoughts, because you are. And now, let's affirm it together, slowly, deeply, from your heart. I am the master of my mind. I think thoughts that empower me. I choose peace over worry. My mind is calm, strong, and focused. Every day my thinking becomes clearer. I attract positive energy into my life. You see, the power is already within you. You just have to remember who you are. Your mind can be your cage, or it can be your wings. The choice is always yours. So as we move forward, carry this truth with you. The world outside will not change until the world inside does. You have the power to reshape your reality by reshaping your thoughts. Now take one last deep breath. Feel that calm strength inside your chest. That is your real power, the power of your mind. In the next part, we will explore something even deeper. The revelation that changed the world forever. The rise of faith, purpose, and destiny. This is where your spiritual journey begins. Part 3. The revelation and the rise of faith. There comes a moment in every life when the noise of the world fades, when you stand in silence, searching for meaning. You ask yourself, why am I here? What is my purpose? Why does life test me so deeply? It is in these moments of darkness that the light of faith begins to rise. Faith is not something you find in comfort. It is something you discover in struggle, when every door seems closed, when every answer disappears, and yet you still choose to trust. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is the courage to move forward despite it. It is the whisper in your soul that says, keep going. You are not alone. Throughout history, the greatest transformations began not in palaces or cities, but in silence. One such night, in a cave of solitude, far away from the world's chaos, a man sat in deep reflection. His name was Muhammad, the son of Abdullah, a man known for truth, mercy, and patience. He was seeking meaning, seeking peace, seeking God. And then, in that sacred stillness, a revelation descended, a message that would change the course of history. Read, the voice commanded. The trembling man replied, I cannot read. Again the command came, read, in the name of your Lord who created. Those words shook his soul. That night in the cave of Hira, the world of ignorance began to crumble, and a new light was born. He came down from the mountain trembling, his heart filled with awe and wonder. His wife, Khadijah, comforted him and said, By Allah, He will never disgrace you. You are kind to your family, you help the poor, and you always speak the truth. Those words became the first pillar of support, love, faith, and reassurance in the face of fear. From that night forward, everything changed. The message of truth had arrived, one that called humanity to rise above pride, greed, and cruelty. It called them to worship one God, to be just, to be merciful, and to see each other as brothers and sisters. It was not an easy mission. The world resisted change. The people of Makkah, proud and powerful, mocked him, insulted him, and tried to break him. But the more they tried to silence him, the stronger his message became. Because truth, once revealed, cannot be buried. It grows, like light breaking through darkness. The prophet endured pain, loss, and exile. He watched his followers suffer, yet he never gave up. When the world turned its back on him, he turned his face to the sky and said, "O my Lord, as long as you are pleased with me, I do not care." That is faith, not just belief in words, but trust in every heartbeat. Faith is standing firm when the world shakes around you. Faith is walking in the dark, knowing there is light ahead, even when you can't see it yet. It is patience when you have no control, and gratitude when you have nothing left. And that is the essence of true strength. Faith gives purpose to pain. It turns fear into focus, despair into direction. Every difficulty becomes a lesson. Every loss becomes a reminder that this life is temporary, and everything you face is shaping your soul for something greater. When you realize that, your heart softens, your mind clears, and your steps become steady again. Because you understand, you were never meant to control everything. You were meant to surrender to the one who does. The rise of faith is the rise of peace. It doesn't mean life will be free from hardship, but it means you will never face hardship alone. Just as light needs darkness to be seen, your faith needs trials to grow stronger. Every test you face is a sign that your soul is being refined, polished, and prepared for its true purpose. So when life becomes hard, when you fall and break, remember, even the prophet faced pain deeper than yours, yet he never lost hope. He never allowed bitterness to poison his heart. He forgave, he endured, and he rose. That is the mark of true greatness, not in power, but in patience. And that patience became victory. From the valleys of persecution to the city of Medina, faith rose like the dawn. The weak became strong, the oppressed became free, and a nation built on justice and mercy was born. This is what faith can do. It can transform fear into courage, tears into wisdom, and loneliness into peace. The revelation was more than words. It was a revolution of the soul. It taught humanity that real power is not in wealth but in righteousness, not in pride but in humility, not in anger, but in forgiveness. And even today, that message still echoes in every heart that listens. You may not be in a cave, you may not hear a voice, but deep inside, there is always a call to rise, to believe, to reconnect with your Creator. Every time you pray, every time you choose patience over panic, every time you forgive when it hurts, you are answering that call. The world may test you, but remember, your purpose is higher than your pain. You are not here to merely survive. You are here to rise. The revelation changed the world once, and it can change yours again, if you let it. So, let your faith rise. Let your heart believe again. Let your soul whisper softly, "I trust my Lord. I am guided. I am not alone." Because the same light that once shone in that cave still shines today, inside you. Part 4. Turning pain into purpose. Pain is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your transformation. Every tear you have cried, every wound you have carried, every heartbreak you have survived, they were not wasted. They were shaping you, preparing you, refining you for something greater. The truth is, purpose is born in the fire of pain. Without pain, there is no growth. Without struggle, there is no strength. And without loss, there is no understanding of what truly matters. Pain has a voice. It doesn't speak to destroy you. It speaks to awaken you. It tells you to slow down, to listen, to change direction. Sometimes pain is not punishment. It's guidance. It's God's way of whispering, "There is more for you than this." When you're hurting, It's hard to see the reason. The nights feel endless, and the days feel heavy. You ask, why me? But one day, you will look back and understand. You will see that every scar taught you courage. Every disappointment redirected you, and every loss revealed your inner power. Pain pushes you toward your purpose, even when you don't realize it. Think about it. Diamonds are made under pressure. Gold is purified through fire. Seeds must be buried in darkness before they bloom. The same law applies to your life. You are being shaped in silence, in struggle, in seasons that test your faith. The pain you feel today is not here to break you. It is here to build you. It is the proof that your heart is still alive, still capable of growing. Pain reminds you that you are human, but purpose reminds you that you are divine. Together, they make you unstoppable. When you stop running from your pain and start listening to it, something powerful happens. You begin to heal. You begin to see meaning where there was only misery. You realize that your scars are not signs of weakness. They are symbols of survival. They are proof that you did not give up. There is a story behind every scar, and that story can inspire someone else who is still in the dark. Sometimes, your purpose is not found in what you achieve, but in what you overcome. The people who shine the brightest are often the ones who have walked through the deepest darkness. Because once you've faced your own pain, you develop compassion for others. You become gentle. You become wise. You learn to love more deeply, to forgive more easily, to live more meaningfully. That is how pain turns into purpose, not by avoiding it, but by transforming it. Think of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. He faced rejection, loss, hunger, and battle. Yet through every hardship, he grew stronger in mercy, stronger in patience, stronger in purpose. His pain became the foundation of a message that still guides billions of hearts today. If he had not endured the fire, the world would never have seen his light. Your story is no different. The challenges you face are preparing you for the impact you are meant to make. Your pain is not a curse. It is a calling. It is your invitation to rise, to serve, to help, to heal. The most beautiful souls are not those who never fell. They are the ones who fell, broke, and rebuilt themselves with grace. Every time you pick yourself up, you are rewriting your story. Every time you smile despite the pain, you are showing others that healing is possible. That is purpose. It is not about perfection. It is about perseverance. Remember this. Pain without purpose feels like suffering, but pain with purpose feels like transformation. So ask yourself, what is this pain trying to teach me? Maybe it's teaching you patience. Maybe it's showing you how to let go. Maybe it's guiding you towards something better. The key is to stop resisting what hurts and start trusting what it's shaping you into. Life is not happening to you. It's happening for you. Even when you can't see it, God is working behind the scenes. The doors that closed were protecting you. The people who left were making space for better ones. The heartbreak that broke you was the hand of destiny redirecting you. You didn't lose anything meant for your soul. You only lost what was blocking your path. And one day, when you stand on the other side of this pain, you'll see how every piece fit perfectly. You'll smile through tears and say, "Now I understand. It was all leading me here." That is the moment your pain becomes purpose. When you stop asking, "Why me?" and start saying, "Thank you." Gratitude turns wounds into wisdom and sorrow into strength. So the next time life hurts, don't run. Sit with it. Feel it. Pray through it. Because the pain you face today might become the message that saves someone else tomorrow. You are being shaped for something extraordinary. You are not breaking. You are becoming. You are not being punished. You are being prepared. Let your pain teach you. Let it guide you. Let it make you whole again. And when the fire of life burns too hot, remember, gold doesn't fear the fire. It becomes brighter because of it. You too will rise from this, stronger, wiser, and full of purpose. Part 5. The journey of hope and renewal. After every storm, there comes a silence. After every tear, a new beginning. Life always moves in circles, from darkness to light, from loss to renewal, from pain to peace. And no matter how deep your sorrow feels right now, remember this. Nothing stays the same forever. The night may be long, but the dawn always arrives. Hope is not something you find outside. It is something you awaken within yourself. It is the gentle voice that says, "Try again." It is the courage to stand even when your legs are trembling. Hope is the bridge between what is and what can be. When everything around you falls apart, hope whispers, "Not yet." Your story isn't over. The truth is, healing doesn't happen overnight. It happens slowly, quietly, like the sunrise, one ray at a time, one small act of courage, one prayer, one moment of gratitude at a time. Renewal begins the moment you decide to open your heart again, to trust again, to believe that there is still beauty left in this world. And there is. There always is. The world may break you, but that doesn't mean you are beyond repair. Sometimes being broken allows light to enter through the cracks. Sometimes losing something helps you find yourself. You are not the same person you were before the storm. You are softer, wiser, stronger. You have learned what truly matters. You have learned that peace is not the absence of struggle, but the presence of faith. That joy is not found in having everything, but in being grateful for what remains. Hope grows in the soil of gratitude. When you start noticing the small blessings, the breath you take, the smile of a stranger, the warmth of sunlight, you begin to heal. Healing is not about forgetting the past. It is about learning to live fully in the present. It is about realizing that every ending is also a beginning. Just as winter gives way to spring, your heart too will bloom again. You may not see it yet, but something beautiful is growing within you. Hope is not loud. It doesn't shout or demand. It's a quiet strength, the kind that helps you take one more step, breathe one more time, love one more day. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just have to have faith that you will make it through. There was a time when you thought you couldn't survive. And yet, here you are, stronger, wiser, still standing. That is hope in action. When you look back on your journey, you'll realize that every painful chapter had a purpose. Every heartbreak taught you compassion. Every failure redirected you toward truth. Every waiting season deepened your faith. Nothing was wasted. Everything was building you. Hope is what keeps you walking when you cannot see the road. Faith is what keeps you believing when you cannot see the result. Together, they carry you through the darkest nights. And when you reach the other side, you'll understand. It was never the destination that mattered. It was the journey that made you who you are. So, breathe. Smile. Forgive yourself for the times you fell apart. Celebrate the fact that you never gave up. You kept going when it hurt. You loved when it was hard. You trusted when it made no sense. That is strength. That is grace. That is renewal. Every sunrise is a reminder that life gives second chances. You don't have to stay trapped in the past. You can begin again, right now. You can choose peace instead of pain, love instead of fear, purpose instead of despair. The same God who created the stars also created your soul, and He hasn't forgotten you. You are part of His plan. Even in silence, He is working. Even in stillness, He is healing you. So let hope rise again. Let your heart breathe again. Let your soul be free again. You have walked through fire and survived. You have faced storms and learned to dance in the rain. Now it's time to live, not with fear, but with faith. Not with regret, but with gratitude. Not with bitterness, but with love. Because you are no longer defined by what broke you. You are defined by how you rose. The journey of hope and renewal never ends. It continues every morning when you open your eyes and say, "Thank you for another chance." That is the essence of life. To fall, to rise, to fall again, and to rise higher each time. You are not here by accident. You are here to shine, to grow, to give, and to guide others with your light. Your story, with all its pain, beauty, and imperfection, is your gift to the world. Let it shine. Let it inspire. Let it heal. Because hope, once found, must be shared. And the more you give it, the more it grows. So, my dear listener, wherever you are, no matter what you're facing, take this moment, close your eyes, and breathe deeply. Feel the peace settling into your heart. Feel the strength returning to your soul. This is not the end. This is a new beginning, a new chapter, a new dawn, a new you. The storm has passed. The light is here. And you are still standing. You are still alive. You are still chosen. Part 6. The Legacy of Strength and Gratitude. When you look back at your life, you'll realize that every challenge, every loss, and every tear carried a lesson. You did not come this far by accident. Every sleepless night, every silent prayer, every moment you chose to keep going, all of it shaped you into who you are today. You have become someone who can stand tall in the storm, someone who can smile through pain, and someone who still chooses kindness when the world feels cold. That is the true legacy of strength, not perfection, not power, but perseverance with grace. Real strength is quiet. It doesn't need to shout. It shows itself in your ability to forgive, to stay kind, and to keep believing in goodness. Gratitude is the heartbeat of that strength. When you learn to be thankful for what remains, even after losing what you loved, life begins to feel lighter. Gratitude turns wounds into wisdom and endings into beginnings. So take a moment now. Breathe deeply. Think about the people, the moments, the memories that carried you through. Whisper to yourself, "Thank you. Thank you for the pain that taught me patience. Thank you for the losses that showed me love. Thank you for the silence that helped me hear my own soul." Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring the hurt. It means finding light within it. You've come a long way. The battles you thought would break you have become your strength. The fears that once held you back have turned into lessons. And now, you stand, wiser, gentler, more alive than ever before. Your story matters. Every scar on your heart tells someone else, you can heal too. Remember, your legacy isn't built by what you have. It's built by what you give. A kind word, a helping hand, a moment of love. These are the footprints you leave behind. Be the reason someone believes in hope again. Be the voice that says, "You are not alone," because you've been there and you made it through. The greatest gift you can offer the world is your healed heart. A heart that has known pain but still chooses love. A soul that has been tested but still trusts. A mind that has fallen but still rises. That is true power. The power of gratitude. The power of faith. The power of love. So as this journey comes to an end, take one final breath. Feel how strong you've become. Feel how far you've come. You are not who you were when you began. You are brighter, deeper, freer. And though life will test you again, you'll never face it the same way. Because now, you carry the light of understanding, the shield of patience, and the heart of gratitude. One day, someone will listen to your story and find courage to keep going. That is your legacy, not the pain you endured, but the hope you inspired. So live gently, love deeply, forgive quickly, and always remember, strength isn't in never falling. It's in rising again with a thankful heart. You are not just a survivor. You are a messenger of hope. You are the proof that life, no matter how hard, is still worth living. And that is how you stay strong when life gets hard.